What up, yo?
A ghost.
A gaze.
Hey, everybody. What's up, man? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. 'Tis a podcast that looks at the old pop culture area, checking out the good, the bad, the ugly, sometimes the spiritual that is taking place inside it. Because let's face it, folks. In the 90s, late 80s, maybe even early 80s, if you want to throw that in there, early 2000s, pop culture was awesome. It was awesome. Seems like you could do whatever you want. Take that leap of faith, see if you make something good. And if it failed, oh well, at least you gave it a try and it was fun. But nowadays, everything has to be gay. Metaphorically and sometimes actual gayness. But that is where this podcast comes in. To look at all the fun stuff and hopefully respark that nostalgia feeling and bring things back to being awesome and just to be entertained. So tonight, just got some articles here. Last week was chaotic. Friday, like Saturday and stuff like that. Just work was pretty intense. So I just needed some time off. For those of you that check up on the game streaming side of things, we've been in a way have been testing out Beyond Good and Evil emulation to see what is up. And that is a game that looks like that is one of those games where however you want to look and go about it in terms of emulation, there's always a caveat. There's always pros and cons between all of them. However, in the end, I hooked up my Xbox One and I looked at my games that I had and I actually owned it. I thought I got it from Gold and I would have to reactivate the Game Pass to play that crap. And I was like, really? I really do not want to do this. But according to the owned games that I have, Beyond Good and Evil HD was one of them. So we're just going to go ahead and continue that on actual console, which is fine. It's all good. It's kind of a fun little endeavor to kind of test out all the different emulations that are out there. But yeah, the topics I want to talk tonight, obviously the big one is Helldivers. Helldivers community, gamers all around gave Sony the gigantic middle finger that it deserved, spammed the crap out of the Steam reviews, and thumbed a bunch of stuff down to tell them that their requiring of linking their Steam account to a PSN account is a bunch of garbage and they can go shove it. And Sony relented. So we were victorious in that. As of right now, I've heard different stuff of they claim they're going to do it, but supposedly we haven't seen the motion yet. But then recently I just saw that a lot of posts about the PSN linkage and stuff like that is actually being deleted from the developers and possibly even Sony. So we have one. So, but that also then brings into the thought that even though the Helldivers 2, a lot of people spoke out and the voices were heard and Sony backtracked, what can be said though about Stellar Blade? Because Stellar Blade was a big one. Stellar Blade was straight censorship. And it seems that the Helldivers 2 situation has overshadowed the Stellar Blade situation. So hopefully Stellar Blade will get the same treatment too. And if that's the way we got to go, then it has to go. Now the thing is obviously because Stellar Blade is a PS5 exclusive, how do you go about letting Sony know that it sucks by kind of doing that negative review thing that a lot of people did for Helldivers 2? Not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. But I think we're seeing waves, folk. We're seeing waves of these companies finally getting it through their thick skull that the people that they're catering to with all this inclusiveness, DEI, wokeness, Western localization, demanding that biometrics or linking PSN accounts is a bunch of bullshit. Nobody wants it. We just want good games. So we are definitely making waves. If you're new to the show, make sure to like and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Been testing out streaming on X, and I think it's going fairly well. You can find me there at Greg Marima. That is my X handle. And then you can also find me on PowerCat Greg on YouTube and Rumble. All descriptions or all listings of social media is in the descriptions. Make sure to smash that subscribe. Make sure to punch that thumbs up. Make sure to ring that bell to get notified when I go live, whether it's this show, a solo show, or like a guest interview or having a guest on the show or a game streaming. Like I said, we've been doing Beyond Good and Evil HD. And I recently got a hold of Onimusha 3, so we might even start Onimusha up as well. I need to go back and look at like the trilogies that I've been playing, because I've been playing a lot of games trilogy based wise and like has stopped at the end. Like with No More Heroes, I still need to play 3. I played 1 and 2. Onimusha, same thing. Although I think there's like another one, but it's not, I may not be a part of the trilogy. Not sure about that one. And what was the other one? Oh, I guess what is it? Studio Japan or something like that. The people who made, I forget, I'm really bad with video game studios. The people who made Shadow of the Colossus and Echo. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about The Last Guardian, but hey, might as well wrap up that trilogy. So like I said, we'll be talking about the Helldivers 2 thing with pretty much the gamers winning on that one, along with some other stuff, such as Super Nintendo World, apparently a Universal, like a theme park, apparently, is going to be opening in Florida at Universal Studios, or like a little section of it. That'd be pretty cool. As well as just some random Dragon Ball Z facts that I came across. I even found something about an article here about 15 classic cartoons. That might be pretty cool to check out as well. So let's hop into that. Let's see. What do we want to start off with? Why don't we go ahead and start off with this? Take a trip down memory lane with these 15 classic cartoons. It had a picture of Garfield, and I remember watching Garfield as a kid. I've collected a lot of Garfield stuff. That's back home up in Illinois with my folks. I used to collect all the comics where they would come in like they're called the Fat Cat 3-pack, where it was like, years of comics like combined together. I still like me my Garfield. I'll probably see the Garfield movie, the one with Chris Pratt, at some point. Here we go. Apparently, this is from Lifestyle Trends about a day ago. So take a trip down memory lane with these 15 classic cartoons. So anybody here, maybe these are cartoons that you saw growing up as a kid. I definitely watched Garfield. So cartoons has a special place in our hearts, often bringing back the joy and simplicity of childhood. Indeed, from the zany antics of animated characters to the moral lessons subtly woven into the plots, classic cartoons have shaped generations. Here are 15 timeless animated series that continue to delight fans, both young and old. It like cuts away. Why does it like weirdly cut it off right there? Maybe if I like expand this a little bit. Nope, that didn't do anything. Number 1, I'm seeing Tom, so I'm guessing it is Tom and Jerry. It is. Dude, Tom and Jerry was awesome. Why do they show the picture of the movie? No one cares about the movie. We like the old school cartoon. Tom and Jerry, the endless cat and mouse chase is etched in the memories of many of the clever, silent battles between Tom the cat and Jerry the Mouse, filled with slapstick comedy and mischievous escapades, have entertained audiences without the need for dialogue, make it universally beloved. Very true. Very unique in that sense that Tom and Jerry hardly had any voiceover happening. In fact, when the movie came out and they gave them voices, not at all what you thought of. The only types of voices you heard from them from the shows was either Tom screaming in pain, laughing, either Tom or Jerry, or like a relative of Jerry. Like some of my favorite Tom and Jerry cartoons episodes are the one where Tom has a twin brother who's a scaredy cat and they kind of bounce back and forth and Jerry like scares him and then but he doesn't know that they're twins, so he thinks he's scaring the one that's a fraidy cat literally while it's Tom and they gang up on him. Jerry's tough cousin that comes along and beats up everybody. And, Tom hires a bunch of the tough cats to try to take care of him. That one's a good one. I love the musketeer ones, the touche pussycat. Love that guy. Especially love it. That one was disgusting too, because like they actually animated. Because one of the running gags was he would chop off a little part of Tom's tail, and he would do his iconic scream. And some of it that like it was insane because you actually and they made like a noise when it gets chopped off. Love that. But yeah, definitely Tom and Jerry. 1940. Dang. I'm sure Looney Tunes are going to be on here, but like that's more of a umbrella sort of thing. But we all know like Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes, and all that was good. That is an ad. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Yeah, definitely. 1969, featuring a group of teenagers and their cowardly dog, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Has been a staple of children's TV since its debut. I used to watch this all the time. The mix of mystery, comedy, and spooky settings, along with the infamous line, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids, has captivated viewers for decades. Yeah, I remember watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. A pup named Scooby-Doo. I remember watching that one. Scooby-Doo. The ones where there was a lot of special guests, because one of my favorite ones that I remember was the Three Stooges, because I love me my Three Stooges. But yeah, Scooby-Doo, good one. Flintstones, I remember watching, but I never really liked them, and I never really stayed captivated with wanting to watch full episodes of the Flintstones. But I know it's iconic. There's the Great Gazoo. Hello, Dum Dum. Flintstones transports viewers to the prehistoric town of Bedrock, which Fred, Wilma, Barney, and Betty tackle modern-day problems in a Stone Age setting. The show was the first animated series to hold a primetime slot on television, paving the way for future cartoons. Yeah, even though I never fully watched a whole lot of episodes, definitely a staple, and like it said, paved the way for future cartoons. Very good. Same with the Jensens. Watch some of them. Probably know the iconic Jane, stop this crazy thing. Like we know that, but and Astro and all that. As a futuristic counterpart to the Flintstones, the Jetsons explores life on the space age with George Jetson and his family. The series is filled with futuristic gadgets that fascinated audiences and sparked imaginations about the possibilities of technological advancement. What's funny is like with the Flintstones and the the Jetsons, as bad as it is, I think of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, because they had episodes featuring, George and Fred and all that stuff. Looney Tunes. Yep. Looney Tunes has introduced iconic characters like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, each with their own catchphrases and personalities. The witty dialogue, cultural references, and satirical comedy continue to appeal to both children and adults. Very true. Very true. I never watched the very, very early ones, but, some of the classics, the hunting, the Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny hunting trilogy, probably the best versions of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck out there. Bugs Bunny with Yosemite Sam, always good. But Bugs Bunny versus anybody, it was like always good. But the hunting trilogies were really, really good. I love the hunting trilogies. I actually like the Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote ones too. There's I think it's a trilogy, maybe 4 episodes. Because a lot of it takes place in kind of Bugs's time, but one he fills in for the Road Runner, and that one's a good one too. That one, Wile E. Coyote doesn't talk, but with the other ones, he does. And then like with Daffy Duck, I never really watched the full like the solo Daffy Duck episodes, but some of the ones I liked is with him with Porky Pig and the where he goes around drawing the mustaches. That one's a good one. The Dick Tracy dream sequence he has, that one's great. I like the one where he's a salesman and he sells like the buttons that he installs in the house. Popeye. I loved Popeye. Still love Popeye. There's actually a Popeye Super Famicom game that never got released, and I want to play that one on stream too. But I loved watching Popeye as a kid. Never ate raw spinach, but now like at least leaf spinach. So centered around the spinach-loving sailor Popeye and his escapades, Popeye the Sailor feature unique characters like Olive Oil and Bluto. The cartoon is renowned for its humorous style and for boosting spinach sales among young viewers. That is actually true. Loved Popeye, though. Loved Popeye. There was supposed to be a CGI movie that never came about, and I think Billy West was doing the voice for Popeye, but for some reason it was Popeye and the Terrible Sea Hag, I think. And believe it or not, I actually really like the Robin Williams live action Popeye movie. It actually captures it really, really well, despite it being a musical. Pink Panther, I watched some, but never got into it. The Pink Panther series features this misadventurous of the suave and silent Pink Panther, known for his distinctive jazz-inspired theme music. Dun-dun, 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 and minimalist animation style. This cartoon has remained popular, for its clever humor and the Panther's charismatic nonchalance. Very true, very true. I am wondering if one of the cartoons will also be. I had it in my head and then I lost it, so it must not have been important. Ooh, DuckTales. I know it was around my time. I mean, I was actually born in 88, so I didn't see a whole lot of reruns, so I didn't really fully watch this show, but I know it's a staple. I remember seeing like Gummy Bears and Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. DuckTales follows the adventures of Scrooge McDuck and his nephew as they hunt for treasure. He has more than one, not nephews. As they hunt for treasures around the world, the series is notable for its adventurous spirit, catchy theme song, of course, and the introduction of beloved characters like Launchpad McQuack. Oh, I thought they would be listing more, but they just listed one. Never mind. He-Man, yes, I watched some. My folks might still have it. Back in the days with VHS, when you could record cartoons or shows off of the television. There's a VHS, I think, back home with some He-Man episodes on it, along with Pee-wee's Playhouse. So Masters of the Universe is a mixture of fantasy. That's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Mix of fantasy, action, and moral lessons at the end of each episode. The show's portrayal of good versus evil and the transformation of Prince Adam into He-Man have left lasting impressions on its audiences. Or on its audience. Very true. Thundercats, I saw some here and there, but I never watched the show, but I heard it's really good. Follows a group of cat-like humanoid aliens from the planet Thundera. The series is appreciated for its epic narrative, distinctive characters, and the famous battle cry, Thundercats, ho! See, this says 15 classics, so that's to be interpreted. Smurfs, I remember a little bit. Small, about a village of small blue creatures living in mushroom houses, blends humor, fantasy, and heartfelt stories. Each Smurf is named for their traits, which adds to the charm and simplicity of the cartoon. Transformers. Yes, I am guilty of not watching a lot of Transformers, and I should. I need to. So, a saga about robots that transform into vehicles and other objects has expanded into a vast franchise. The original series introduced the Autobots and Decepticons, whose battles on Earth capture the imaginations of many children. Indeed, indeed. Yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Very good. The series stars four Ninja Turtles who fight crime from the sewers of New York City. The blend of action, humor, and distinct personalities of the Turtles, named after famous artists, have made the show a cultural phenomenon. Yep. And I actually want to get into the Turtles comics. I've read a little bit of the beginning with the Mirage versions and a little bit of The Last Ronin, but I definitely want to get more into it. Inspector Gadget. Okay. Yeah. I remember watching Inspector Gadget, bumbling detective, his niece Penny, and their dog as they thwart the plans of the evil Dr. Claw. The cartoon is famous for Gadget's comical, malfunctioning gadgets and the clever ways Penny helps save the day. Go, go, Gadget feet. And my boy, Garfield and Friends. Yes. Clearly, there's a lot more that could be added to the list, but a pretty solid list, I would say, based on the comic strip by Jim Davis, includes a sarcastic cat, Garfield, its hapless owner, John, and the ever-optimistic dog, Odie. The show's humor, derived from Garfield's love for lasagna and disdain for Mondays, resonates with audiences of all ages. Indeed, indeed. Like I said, a lot of could have been added to, like the real Ghostbusters, probably your anime shows if you wanted to. But, I mean, that's anime, not really cartoons. Very nice. All right. So that was a cool one. Next up here, some Dragon Ball Z information that I kind of was just stumbling around here from Fandom Wire. I felt like I've heard this before, but here you go. Kira Toriyama actually reduced Goku's Super Saiyan power levels as the original plan was too extravagant. So the first time Goku turned Super Saiyan was obviously a legendary moment in Dragon Ball's history against Frieza. So we saw the transformation regardless of age. Any pair of eyes could see it, and as the excuse me, as the moment stamped into their brain. Very true. Probably shouldn't drink soda. Get the burps, but too late. Turns out that Akira Toriyama had actually muted the transformation from what it could have been. Turning Super Saiyan made Goku several times as powerful as his natural state, and the mode was triggered by an extreme mix of emotions. Who can forget Frieza's face when he realized he had the bad luck of facing a legendary Super Saiyan who emerged once every 1,000 years? In an interview, Toriyama revealed why he decided Goku's power level during Super Saiyan should not increase too much. So during the planning of the Super Saiyan transformation, Akira Toriyama and his assistants had discovered that Super Saiyan would make Goku, or had discussed that Super Saiyan would make Goku 50 times stronger. Dang, son. Of course, the author later realized that it was a bit too much. At the time, it was made out that he was 50 times as strong when he became Super Saiyan. That's a little extravagant, excuse me. As far as my feelings as an author goes, I think I drew it with the sense of it being a change of about 10 times when he had been up until then. Yeah, man, that power difference would be insane. Thus, Goku ended up receiving only a times 10 power up rather than a times 51. If he had indeed given him such an extreme transformation to Goku, it would have demanded even stronger villains in the future. Very true. Otherwise, the series would have resembled One Punch Man. I wouldn't think so. It would just I mean, literally just what he stated the line before. He would just have to have made villains that were stronger, though. Of course, that would mean that like only Goku could face the people because everyone else would be so outclassed. You know, unless of course you kept with Vegeta. then it would just be Goku and Vegeta. The current Dragon Ball villains can already destroy planets in a snap. Sorry, Thanos. But can you imagine how powerful they would have to be to take on 50 times Goku? Man, must be really tired. Who could also increase his power even more by training. An overpowered protagonist would get too boring over time, especially given the plot of Dragon Ball, where the exhilarating battles are the show's main attraction. So then it kind of goes into like the design of a Super Saiyan. So the reason behind it was my assistant always had to spend a lot of time blackening Goku's hair. Blackening Goku black. No. Note 4. So the biggest reason was to save time, since if Goku became a Super Saiyan, his hair would have to be blacked in. Very true. A smart decision, I would say. As it turned out, the first Super Saiyan form could have been any color, but it was blonde, especially because Toriyama and company wanted to save time on manuscripts. Additionally, the design exudes power so much so that anyone could take a look and admit that Goku has become stronger. Very true. Yeah. You could tell that just with that different state, something has changed. In the words of the genius author, it was killing two birds with one stone. So now you know why the blonde hair was imminent for Goku and how he was cheated out from attaining 50 times power with a single, it says move, but they might have meant power up. But yeah, that was insane. Man, 50 times in Super Saiyan mode? Holy crap, that would be insane. This actually pointed out something too, because if they chose for this to actually, because in the manga, for heaven's sakes, ugh. Come on now. Damn allergies. If it had been white, obviously you wouldn't have Ultra Instinct as being it kind of that form. Although I've shared my thoughts about Super. Funny enough, I've actually gone back and watching Dragon Ball GT. One of those things to where is we all know that people shit on it or don't consider it canon. But I wanted to go back and truly be like, okay, it's been a long time since I've seen this. Is it really as bad? I got to admit, there's some stuff that actually works a lot better than what I remember it. By all means, does some stuff not make sense? Or it's just not good? But yeah, I mean I like the Super manga more than the Super anime. But I have noticed that there are funny enough that there are actually a good handful here and there of elements looked at in GT and being taken and applied in Super. I will say that. But there you go. There's some DBZ knowledge for you. If they stuck with the original idea, that Super Saiyan boost times 50. Insane. What are you, insane? Yes. But man. Yeah, that's crazy. Times 50.
That was hot and spicy.
And dead. Although he doesn't die, but might as well have. All right, next, Super Nintendo World, Florida, set to open in 2025. Huh. That is crazy. If you live on the East Coast of the United States or are an avid fan of Nintendo games, rejoice, as Super Nintendo World is set to finally open in Florida next year. Last year, Universal Studios, in partnership with Nintendo, opened up Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Hollywood. Before its launch, influencers and select fans had the chance to check out the park and see all that it had to offer. Now, a year later, Universal Studios has announced that Super Nintendo World will be opening in 2025 as part of the Universal Epic Universe. The fourth park will be a part of a big universe experience and offer more attraction than its Hollywood counterpart. So I haven't watched the video yet, so let's take a look.
Universal Epic Universe will be the fourth theme park at Universal Orlando Resort and will transport you to 5 immersive worlds filled with thrills and excitement. In Super Nintendo World, you'll jump into the action and discover a new way to play.
When we started planning Epic Universe, we really wanted to create iconic worlds that deeply connect with fans.
I'm a lifelong fan of Nintendo and grown up with these characters. I still remember opening up my NES system in 85 or 86.
It doesn't matter how old you are.
Okay, I liked how they just cut that guy's memory.
Games, we all have our favorite characters.
Oh gosh,
we're the fans, and so
dude, those
our primary goal
gauge
was to
ears,
ensure, not just for us, but for the guests, this was the ultimate Nintendo experience.
You'll enter Super Nintendo World through the iconic green pipe. And once inside,
Cool.
you'll discover the most elaborate interactive world we've
Oh-ho.
ever created, featuring Super Mario Land and Donkey Kong Country.
When
dang.
you come out on the second level of Super Nintendo World,
Susan
with the
Cummings?
vista,
Uh-oh.
there's just not another view.
Not a good
like
last name.
You have Mount Beanpole right in front of you. You have all these colorful blocks, all the characters moving around. This world is alive around you.
This world invites you to just come in and play.
It's just about fun, man. It's all about fun.
One of the features of Super Nintendo World is the Power Up Band.
It allows you to play the games. It allows you to keep score.
You can collect coins by punching blocks. You can find hidden elements throughout the land.
You can see how you're doing compared to other guests in the park.
There's so many places to look and to be engaged. You just get engulfed in it, and then you're like, okay, so what's the first thing you want to do?
If we were going to
Cool.
do anything with Nintendo, there were a handful of things that we had to touch on, and Mario Kart was one of them. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is
I thought I
Bowser
saw some
challenging
people
Mario
already,
in a
like-
winner-take-all race, and you as the guest get to join them on this race through courses all selected from the Mario Kart gaming world.
Or maybe it was
This
the
ride is
movie I was
extremely
thinking of.
innovative.
I saw
It
some
uses
people
augmented
like
reality technology to bring this race to life
kind of
in
wearing
such a
the
fun,
bracelet and
visceral way.
stuff like that.
You can look at
But
the
maybe that was
characters,
the
they look
movie.
at you. You can throw shells at characters. And
I thought like
change the
Jay
outcome
and
of the race.
Krista.
You can see all the beautiful scenery, and you also get the gameplay that's going on the image.
It melds that game world into that real world.
Everything in this world.
I mean,
is
cool,
designed to
but
fully
other
immerse you.
rides have done that
The
too.
sights, the sounds, the food, the attractions.
Unless you're actually like
I love
playing a
Yoshi.
video
We
game.
couldn't do anything without bringing him along.
Yoshi's Adventure is a family ride, which is just too cute for words.
We're joining Yoshi in exploring Mount Beanpole. in
She
search
looked
of
like she
three
did not want to
glorious.
be doing this
It's a fun,
interview.
colorful, interactive ride the whole family will love.
You'll see incredible views of the world that you're not going to see anywhere else.
Yoshi and Mario Kart, they're so iconic.
Or maybe there was
Donkey
like a
Kong is one of the
previewing
original
of this.
icons,
Like
and
I'm
we
assuming this is
certainly
already
couldn't do
made
Super Nintendo World without
and
including
just
him.
getting tested or
Donkey
something.
Kong
I don't know.
Country is a completely different landscape from Super Mario Land.
You're exploring through very lush jungle with rhythm and music.
I still
But
need to
the
play the
land really
Donkey
comes
Kong
to
Country
life. When you
series.
see the mine carts coming through the land. It really looks like it's a runaway mine cart.
My Kart Madness gives guests an opportunity to join Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. It's a coaster that has jumps, turns, leaps, dips, dives.
It's
I mean, if you're
got
having
most
Donkey
innovative
Kong, you gotta
technology
have,
inside of it to make us feel like we're actually jumping the track.
You gotta
There
have
are 0 screens. It is all
Mr. Jumper.
show
I
is
mean, that's
all
where
the
everything
thrill.
started.
It will blow their minds.
You gotta
on
have
what
that
we were
connection.
able to turn into a real life experience.
When I see Super Nintendo World, what I see is the future of immersive experiences, where it's the gaming world and the real world.
Well, I
being
guess
able to
it's
finally
Super
join
Nintendo
together
World,
all
not
around
Super
you.
I
Mario
think this
Brothers.
place is going to allow so many families to connect and bond over these.
Well, wait a
timeless
minute.
video games.
Oops.
To me, I
Wait a
think that's why
minute.
theme
Did I
parks
put
have-
in the wrong thing
You
on
can
my
go there
title?
20 times, and you will always
All right, we kind of got the gist. Super Nintendo. Oh, I'm retarded. Whoops. No wonder I was like, why is Donkey Kong there when it's Mario? It's not Super Nintendo World, not Super Mario World. Guess I had Super Mario World on my mind. Can I up? Me being the stickler that I am, I have to update the title here. My goodness. Can't even read. I can't fix the X stream, I think. Or maybe I can. Nope. Never mind. Well, my bad. Whoops. Anyway. But yeah, very cool. Let me just make sure. May 6th. Today is May 6th. Okay, so this is a recent article. I don't know why I'm... Maybe it was like a theater that had like when the Super Mario Brothers movie, the new one that just came out, maybe it had some like special stuff. Because I could have sworn I thought I thought like there was already the park announced. But according to this, it's 2025. So... But very cool if you're a huge Super Nintendo fan. Very, very good. I went with my mom to the Harry Potter world because we reread Harry Potter and saw the movies together. That was our bonding together. So I've been to Universal that time, and I think we just went ahead and we walked all around Universal anyway. Okay, so the new park will have Mario Kart, Bowser's Challenge, Yoshi's Adventure, Toadstool Cafe, key challenges and interactive activities, a one-up factory, and Donkey Kong Country, the Minecart Madness. So all of these attractions are available at Universal Studios Japan with Minecart Madness opening in 2024. Oh, okay. And then the Mario Kart is an augmented reality blending 3D and 4D. Oh, it's a shooting kart ride. Okay. I was going to say, like, I feel like they've kind of done that before with other rides. But makes sense. Power-up bands. That's what you saw them wearing so they can collect coins, keep tracks of their score for the different challenges. These bands can be used to trigger hidden elements throughout the park as well. Okay, so it's kind of like if you have a wand at the Harry Potter thing and you can, perform a spell, it can activate something. And then it just goes on about Universal Epic Universe has other stuff. Celestial Park, Dark Universe, How to Train Your Dragon, Isles of Berk, and Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind wanting to go visit someday. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to a theme park, and the way my health is going, I don't know if I could. I do love me my roller coaster rides, but hopefully I could still handle them. I blame Corona-chan personally. I never got it, but ever since then, nothing's been right. Well, there you go. So Super Nintendo Land, very cool. Very cool. Once again, thanks for everyone for hanging out with me. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. We're on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And just help push that algorithm up. Really appreciate it. And if you want to go beyond that, maybe consider checking out membership subscription tiers over on YouTube and Rumble, as well as I have a locals page and other stuff in the description below. But I'm blessed and humbled of any type of support of the show. All right, let's go ahead and get into the main topic here, and that is the Helldivers stuff. So here is Twitter or X. Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. The May 6th update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. And then, of course, you just simply reading the comments. It's like, damn, it's like, donut operator, damn, it's like actions have consequences. We got Savvy. Thank you for listening to your consumers on this. Hopefully we can talk about censorship. Yep, that's what I did. That's what I commented on. Now, how about you let Stellar Blade PS5 be what it really was, because people want what was shown in the demo, not your garbage fixes. You fix Stellar Blade and you'll send waves in the gaming community. Very true. Obviously, we can't just let Sony off the hook because they've relented on the Helldivers 2 thing. There's still plenty of stuff that they are scummy about and are garbage about. But this is definitely an impact. But man, if Sony legitimately would be like, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and roll back the censorship and have it be what it was originally about. Like I said, that would send waves ever. Would it be an end all be all forgiving of them if they did that? No, because these companies still need to be put on blast, because none of this should be happening. It should be obvious that no one asked for this. It should be obvious that no one asked for censorship. Now, there's one thing about the rating system that maybe has already been put into place. I mean, is that actually a governmental aspect of stuff? Obviously there's stuff like that, but this censorship stuff has got to go. It's got to stop. Studios are not responsible in making safe spaces for people. You play a game at your own risk. If you can't handle it, you ask for a refund and you leave. It does not have to change to accommodate you. And the people who they are accommodating for do not like gaming. They never or they've never played a game before, or they saw a field that needed wokeness fisted inside of it, and they wanted to be the people to be remembered by in fixing it. Fixing it. That's what it is. But yeah, Infinity, heels versus Babyface. There you go. Yeah, look at that. Boop, 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 whoosh. Negative. Good. Good. Hopefully it's a big wake-up call. And if not, then apparently that's what needs to be done. We can look at Helldivers 2 being an example of, if you can review blast it, negative review blast it. Huh. I seem to recall a lot of people getting ass mad when that was done for another game. A game that won so many good awards because it was so revolutionary. It's like a zombie apocalypse or something about that. With, a part 1 being a well-established characters, and then part 2 being an absolute shit show. Of course, when they land blast anything, it's justified. So Video Game Chronicle, PlayStation U-turns after Helldivers 2 Steam backlash, scraps mandatory PSN account linking. We're still learning what is best for PC players. How are you, from what I've gathered when it comes to like the consoles and the PCs and all that stuff, PC people get shit on a lot. Because it seems like it takes forever for a game that people want on release day or something to get a PC port if it doesn't already have a PC port. Games that finally do come out are super buggy, need to be fixed, and it's a lot of modding that needs to take place, not by the people who released it, mind you, by people who actually just care about the franchise have to come in and fix this shit. How long? What do you need to learn? Like, what is there else to learn about PC players? What is it? So the requirement was present when the game originally launched, but after its unexpected early success led to severe technical issues, it was temporarily removed. Last week, Sony stated that the requirement would be returning on May 30th, and that all players would need to have linked their Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. I have Helldivers 2, and I would absolutely not do that. The news was met with a huge backlash from players, and the game was hit with over 100,000 negative reviews on Steam in less than 48 hours. Ouch. The negativity continued over the weekend when the game was pulled from over 150 countries on Steam due to them not having access to the PlayStation Network. Yeah, that right there, like, how are you that retarded that you would implement something as stupid as that and know that like 150 countries of potential customers you're just shutting out? And Side Scrollers podcast today, they were talking about this too. And maybe Yellow Flash pointed it out, maybe Craig pointed it out, or I'm sure the entire, whoever was on the panel pointed it out. Uh-oh. I had the thought, and then I lost it. And I haven't had anything to drink. Might as well have whiskey. Oh my goodness. My brain must be like fried today. Because, man, I was like super tired all today. Anyway. However, in a new tweet posted by the official PlayStation account on X, the company has acknowledged its error and said it scrapped the plans to acquire a PSN account for the Steam version of the game. Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. It wrote the May 6th update, which I'm pretty much we already read this. So we're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2. Keep you updated on future plans. So the news was met with relief by Joanne Pilstadet, the CEO of Helldivers 2 developer Arrowhead, who thanks the fans for forcing the change and PlayStation for relenting. First, I am impressed by the willpower of the Helldivers 2 community and your ability to collaborate, he wrote on X. Secondly, I want to thank our partners and friends at PlayStation for quickly and effectively making the decision to leave PSN linking optional. We together want to set a new standard for what a live game is and how developers and community can support each other to create the best gaming experiences. Now I remember what I was going to say. The panel pointed out the fact that the headquarters of Sony is in California. We need to remember this. There's no Japanese branch. That got shut down. All this bullshit is coming from Cali. So with developers like Arrowhead, what is stopping you from telling Sony to go fuck themselves when they implement something retarded as this? I legitimately want to know, what would happen? Is that a breach of contract? Is that possible being removed from the project, no more funding and stuff like that? And maybe it's just the way that this article worded it. Because it says, who thanked the fans of forcing the changes and PlayStation for relenting. So he's thanking them to do that. So this might just be worded poorly in terms of me thinking that kind of putting words in the CEO's mouth. But seriously, if the CEO was legitimately thanking the fans because it forced this change, did you just not say anything when Sony was like, yeah, we're going to be doing this? And you go, that's not a good idea. I mean, I guess in the end, it's kind of like with Shift Up, where Sony demanded the censorship last minute, and then they had to say, oh yeah, it was intentional of this. the whole time. X to down on that. Why would you spend all that time making a beautiful demo just to slap on some very rushed and terrible censorship last minute? Makes no sense. The change already appears to be making an impact on Steam, where user reviews have started to become more positive again. Whereas user reviews were 95 negative on Friday, 96 negative on Saturday, and 98 negative on Sunday. So far, the reviews today are far more balanced. Of the 28,000 reviews submitted today, only 52 are negative. At the time of this writing, it is still unavailable on more than 150 countries it was pulled from on Steam, but it appears that access will be restored to those areas in the near future. As much as this is a win, I would still highly encourage people to be wary, because a lot of what this is showing is bait and switch moves. Very scummy bait and switch moves of companies. I guarantee you there will be a company out there that will purposely make a really good game and present said game as XYZ. And a lot of people will say this is Sony already doing it. You'll buy the game and then they'll bait and switch and completely, they'll intentionally do it. This is kind of like with Aspire, with the Tomb Raiders Remastered series. They were unintentionally removed. Were they really? Were they really? And interesting enough, you put the old posters back in, but then you added like a signature of one of Lara Croft's old names, Laura Cruz or something like that, on one of the posters to kind of separate the two. That's not really Laura or Lara. That's not really Lara on the poster. That's someone else. We got to be wary of this, folks. We can't just let them off the leash, or off the hook, I guess I should say. Yeah, that's great that they listened. But what's going to be the next one that they'll just do the same thing all over again? I mean, we know what's effective now is negative review the crap out of it to send over a message. But what happens if they say, fuck you, we don't care? What happens then? I mean, some people say, well, just boycott, don't buy it. Okay. What if they say, we don't care about your boycott, go ahead? What then? I kind of brought it up on another stream too, a past stream. The only thing I can think of to really make it hurt money-wise is buy through third parties. So that means your eBays or what have you, from people who they went out and bought it. I just know my money's not going to go to Sony. It's going to be going to the person that I bought it off of eBay. There's that. Or straight up piracy. Not only will I not support anything, developers or the company of the game, I'm speaking hypothetically, by pirating, you're causing them to lose money. And then, of course, that ties into the whole digital aspect of it. Well, you don't really own the games. Okay, well, then I don't really steal the games when I download them, when I pirate them. If we're going to be playing that game. Because apparently, when it comes to digital, nobody owns anything, apparently. Somehow, your trademarks and your copyrights just magically appeared on the internet. So do you even own the company or own the property when you make it digital? Because according to you, I don't own it when I literally spend money on it. I got another article here. It might reiterate the same thing, but that was from Video Game Chronicles, and we'll kind of wrap up the show here by looking at this Niche Gamer article. See if they have any other inputs that they want to say. So they're no longer going to be proceeding with their plans to require a PSN account to continue playing Helldivers 2 on PC. So they would have to link it with a PSN account. excuse me, to their Steam account. Yeah. I need to not drink soda anymore whenever I do a show. This had originally been intended at the game launch, but due to its unprecedented popularity, it put too much strain on the servers. Thus, the requirement was paused, which led to many players growing accustomed to not needing a PSN account. Okay. I'm trying to think. Wait. So you were supposed to link it from the beginning, apparently was the original plan. But due to the popularity of it, it put too much strain on the server. And thus, the requirement was paused. I'm confused because I thought the whole point of linking up the PSN account was meaning you would then be using Sony's servers, and theoretically Sony servers would be a lot more powerful. So then why wouldn't you do that in the beginning? I don't know. Leave a comment below to explain to this retard here what that means. Because I'm confused at this. Fans have been critical of Sony's requirement due to the company's past data breaches. This is very true. Very good. Yes. Well done, Niche, for pointing that out. I didn't even think about that. Yes. As well as the company's overzealous approach to community moderation and content censorship. Yes. Very true. Again. Sony is based in California, the woke hive mind, the central woke hive mind location. They're going to be pulling all this garbage. As a result of the earlier announcement, Helldivers 2 quickly dropped to overwhelmingly negative recent reviews and mixed overall reviews on Steam. Most of the blame for this debacle lies with Sony, and the CEO of Arrowhead had been responsive and sympathetic to fans throughout most of the backlash. So then we got, is this the moment to tweet what? You guys don't have phones? On serious note, we are talking solutions with PlayStation, especially for non-PSN countries. Your voice has been heard, and I'm doing everything I can to speak for the community, but I do not have the final say. Can we show? Oh, I have to show. But he says, I don't. Oh, he just says, I don't have the final say. You know, at this point, I just hate to say it, but like this, some of the developers need to grow a pair of balls and tell Sony and stuff to go fuck themselves, to go fist themselves royally in the butthole, and take whatever backlash you'll get from them. Because we, the fans, obviously can do so much, but you're hearing all these developers like, oh, we can't really do anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, then start doing something. If that means in the end that you'll lose your job, which I completely understand, I understand it. But there's, and we've heard like Grums talk about it. It's a very simple, it's a very thin line. Because some developers truly want to give the fans what they want, and they can't do it. And then there's some developers that will say, fuck you, we're not going to do anything. So how do we punish those developers by saying, well, you should just get fired then or close? Because clearly you don't care about the fans or video games. While the ones that actually do care, how do we support them? Someone here in one of the tweets says, why are you acting all blameless? Like, you should have known for probably years that PSN would be a requirement. And I bet it was your call that it was not enforced in the beginning to help the server load. And then the CEO guy responded by saying, I do have a part to play. I am not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account linking at launch so that players could play the game. I did not ensure players were aware of the requirement, and we didn't talk about it enough. We knew for about 6 months before launch that it would be mandatory for online PS titles. Okay, that immediately raises my questions that somebody else just pointed out here. Wait, if you knew about it for 6 months, then why sell it to non-PSN countries? We do not handle the selling of games. It doesn't matter. It is your responsibility to tell customers if they can play the damn game or not. I'm legitimate. Can't even fucking talk tonight. I'm legitimately interested in why you think it's okay to not say anything. We don't handle the selling of games. Too fucking bad. Your name's plastered on it. You have a say in it. Your reputation is just as damaged as Sony's reputation. Honestly, this quote hit me like a brick to the face. Such a duh way to put it. It's literally the only job of a publisher, cough cough, to sell the game and take their cut from the sales after it's made. Guess it shouldn't be surprised that they let the cash grab go on, huh? It's Arrowhead, both the game studio and the publisher. I'm just reading some stuff, generally asking. Sony's the publisher. That's why any of this is happening. So they signed a contract with the devil and then chose to act oblivious. Yep. Sony owns the IP, so the only options were to agree to Sony's terms or not make the game at all. Then crowdfund it. Again, this is another thing. Then go the indie route. This is something I also brought up on a past show as well. Literally, when it comes down to this, how do you tell the AAA big publishing companies to go fuck themselves, and how do you get the funding for a AAA game? That's what we need to figure out. That's what we're still trying to figure out. How do we separate the two? I think that was the end of that article. Get back up here. There we go. Yeah, it's the end of that article. Well, there you have it, folks. We definitely made the message across in terms of letting Sony know that they're garbage and they need to fix stuff and they need to actually listen to gamers. But is it going to stop? No, probably not. Overnight, definitely not. But we can continue to make waves by doing stuff like this. But again, the real question remains: how do we back public developers that truly care about a game, but then get bent over and screwed over by the publishers? How do we separate them from that, but still give them the budget that they can make the game that they want to make? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. But that's all I had for you on tonight's show. Possibility, maybe I'll hop on, do some more Beyond Good and Evil gaming. If not, we'll be doing that tomorrow for sure. But thanks for hanging out. Make sure to like and subscribe again. Make sure to turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Check out my description for other listings of my social media so that you can go check out there as well. And if you want to help beyond just pushing the algorithm, check out the membership and subscription tiers as well as my locals. But you guys have a good rest of your night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for enjoying my very terrible readings tonight in terms of speaking. But yeah, thanks again, you guys. Take care and God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.